To be honest, I'm going to say it's very suspect, the fact that he is friends with all these guys who just so happen to be saucy influencers who would otherwise be able to help facilitate the saucy progress. What's up guys, Derek, moreplaysmoredates.com. Today we're going to be talking about a post a lot of you guys have been tagging me in. It is the transformation of Headhunterz. So I knew this guy looked familiar and I couldn't put my finger on it why, and then I realized I used to crank this guy's music when I used to go to the gym. Trend out of my mind back in the day. Back in like in my early bodybuilding years, I used to be on a fat blast of fucking test and trend, go to the gym and smash weights to this guy, end of my existence, hardstyle, some of the show tech shit too, Headhunterz, show tech, that kind of stuff. I would go in the gym and just fucking demolish weights to hardstyle. And this is one of the OGs, and wild, even seeing that this guy follows me for some reason. It was just like the fucking deja vu. And this guy's like evidently pretty like intersected with the fitness industry because he is featured with a lot of notable names, and his transformation recently, absolutely bonkers. This is what he looks like now comparison to what he looked like 3 years ago. So here he says, all right fam, as promised, here is my 3-year transformation. The pic on the left was taken on April 28, 2017, weighing 65 kilograms, which is 143 pounds, in a hotel room in China where I had just decided I was going to make changes in my life. I had recently decided I was going to return to hardstyle, and with the return of HHZ in the Ziggo Dome coming up, of which I knew it was going to be one of the key moments in my career, I decided I wanted to make my comeback as the best version of myself I had ever been, music-wise, but also mentally and physically. So that's how my fitness adventure started. The right pick is today, 3 years later, at 74 kilograms. So he is about 20 pounds heavier in those 3 years, just diced to the socks. He has veins climbing up his abs, his pelvis, just fucking everywhere. This guy is like borderline striking distance of men's physique territory. So this isn't just like, this is not just 20 pounds of muscle gain. This is him cutting down to 74 kilograms. So it's not like he just gained purely to 74. I'm assuming he got much higher than this and then cut back down, unless he somehow just gained like pure contractile tissue the entire time, but I highly doubt that's the case in 3 years. So anyways, he's peeled in this one. So presumably this is at the end of a cut here. And he's up like 20 pounds of pure lean tissue. So from the beginning, and he's about 163 off the top of my head here, kilograms wise. So, a reasonable weight that doesn't seem incredibly unnatural. But anyways, let me just touch upon some of the things this journey has given me. As a DJ and producer, I've always lived a very hectic and unstructured lifestyle and was often struggling to feel fit. At my high point, I was doing over 200 flights a year to every possible time zone, playing shows all over the world, and was almost in a constant state of being jet lagged, which had a very big impact on my state of mind and my body. I discovered fitness as something to hold on to and to feel as good as possible in my skin amidst all the mental and physical pressure. But of course, I wouldn't be me if I didn't go all in. Let's see. So he took things to the extreme. He wants to give it his all. If he gives it does something. Lifestyle gave him a new powers of his mind. He somehow magically made some hair gains too. No idea how that happened though. Winky face with the classic that we all do, not just a wink, not just but like one of those. So all jokes aside, I'm ready to take on life and happier, more creative, and stronger than ever. Special thanks to Mariah, Zach Ainsley, and Tavi Castro for their guidance and support. So this guy has a lot of crossover with a lot of big names in the fitness industry that are notably saucy dudes, the saucy yacht guys. These are the kind of guys you see with Thurston and whatnot. These are the kind of guys you see on men's physique stages. These are the kind of guys you see on TRT and not steroids, because steroids are fucking terrible for you. And this is this is a medical procedure called TRT. It's not the same thing.
I'm not cycling steroids. I'm not using SARMs. I am following a medical procedure. It's called TRT under supervision of a doctor. All right, so it's a bit different than you might have expected,
Okay, so let's go into this guy's Instagram stories and see if he said anything about the transformation that is notable.
The part will be all the traveling and the jet lags and hotel gyms. But actually for me, the hardest were the injuries that I'm still dealing with. I injured both my AC joints and my shoulders. So it's hard to work around, but I'm making my way through it. Well, that's a hard question, and it's hard for me to decide. I really don't know, to be honest. Actually, we should ask Greg Doucette. He claims to have laser eye vision when it comes to these.
I'll leave that to Greg. I'm sure he's going to be covering this too. But when you look at it, at the transformation, it looks pretty fucking lean. Like I don't think anyone would have problem saying this guy was single digits. But anyways.
I am around 178, 179, somewhere in between. Or maybe I've already shrunk to 178. I'm getting old, right?
Okay, so this guy is about 5'10"-ish, a little bit higher than that maybe, and but shredded in the low 160s. So keep that in mind as far as his body composition statistics here.
This question actually hurts my feelings because I had to give up on the bench rest because I injured both my shoulders. That was a very hard thing to let go of because it's so enjoyable, but just not able to do it anymore. Well, it's just a matter of flipping that switch and doing it. I would like bring healthy foods on planes. I have healthy foods on my rider that will be ready when I get to my hotel room. And most hotels have hotel gyms, so I would just work out there, maybe in the middle of the night if it's necessary.
Okay, so obviously this guy is very committed to his regime, doing whatever it takes, no matter where he is. He has healthy food packed, regardless if he's traveling. He's also hitting the hotel gyms and whatnot, which, you know, a lot of people will probably not do that. Most people will just let themselves go. And presumably that's probably what he did before he kind of got motivated to do this transformation. So that's solid that he's able to. But again, are you going to be able to stay on track optimally? Even if you have those things available, you're doing, you know, in the middle of the night, underslept, presumably, getting in the gym, getting a workout in, maybe not an optimized workout, but still working out nonetheless. Having food on the road that, you know, it's harder to track maybe. You know, let's see what else he says.
Well, next to all the health benefits and in everything I do, especially push exercise, 100% diet and maybe cardio. But strength training is not for weight loss.
I'm trying to find like the most indicative stories here that actually identify anything worth referencing. I'm not trying to like skip this shit. I'm just trying to find stuff that helps me make an educated guess here on what's going on.
Well, to be honest, that makes it a lot harder. And my journey hasn't gone in a straight line up. I've had many ups and downs. Well, I noticed, well, that would be awesome. I'm not 6 times a week. Yes. And actually, I enjoy those 6 days more than the one rest day that I have. Yeah, well, right now, of course, the first thing that comes to mind was the last weeks of my diet. Dropping to such a low body fat definitely causes a lot of fatigue.
Okay, so this guy's been deprived of calories, as he just confirmed. So that shot that he has in his after is definitely a depleted, rundown, fatigued, shredded shot rather than a sustainable one, clearly. So let's see what his heaviest was here.
And I am now recovering from that and just recovering slowly, regaining my energy.
Okay, so he was 83.5 kilograms here. Still visible abs though. And so 83.5, like he's in the 180s with abs, which is pretty fucking good for a guy who's barely over 5'10", is traveling all the time, going on like 200 flights a year in some cases, doing hotel gym workouts, eating whatever is available as long as it's clean and, you know, fitting it into his macros and whatnot. This is a reasonable, like this is a good body composition. This is something that would be difficult for a lot of people to do, to be honest. So in the mid 180s, not shredded, but visible abs. So that is notable here. So he is, again, a bit over 5'10", if I'm not wrong on that, in the, you know, mid 180s with abs at his biggest, I guess.
Actually went from being, it's mostly been a lean bulk, which means eating a couple of 100 calories over maintenance. But for now, I'm going to keep it at maintenance and just try to gain slowly over time and keep it as much as lean tissue as possible.
That's probably the best strategy when you've depleted this hard. Like clearly he's fatigued, he's his fucking ghrelins probably going through the roof, telling him to eat a bunch of cheat food. And this is kind of the make or break where a lot of guys will completely ruin their physique in a matter of weeks just because they're done their cut and like their hormones are screaming at them to feed because they are, your body basically thinks it starved itself to get to that lean if you didn't follow a sustainable deficit kind of thing. So clearly the body composition he achieved is not something you can maintain long term, and especially not naturally, assuming he's natural. So eating at maintenance and not going overboard and eating a bunch of shitty food is what's going to allow him to not rebound so significantly that he puts himself in a compromised position for actually being able to grow and put on new muscle at this point. Like right now, he's super insulin sensitive, he's primed for growth, and overeating above and beyond what your body actually needs is going to be detrimental to your physique. So this is definitely a smart move in my opinion. But anyways.
Definitely. Well, when you're dieting, it's just stupid to eat really high calorie dense foods. So if you want to eat like a snack or anything, it's best to find something like a food hack that gives you very tasty food for low calories, because if not, you'll be hungry all the time. Yeah, I know. I've been doing this diet on 1,800 calories, which is very low, and I don't know. I'm just disciplined when it comes to that, but I'm gonna switch that up. I bought a home trainer, and I'm gonna do more cardio, which is good for my health.
Yeah, so 1,800, certainly not a sustainable amount of calories, and this sort of, yeah, like I can understand why he feels the way he does. He mentioned how fatigued he is, how run down he is to achieve the body composition he did, and like, fuck, dude, even under like 2,400, I'm suffering, dude. Like getting to sub 2,000s, like you're like approaching girl level calories, which is like, again, like clearly not sustainable. And I get, if you have a goal and you have to get there, like, you got to do what you got to do, I guess. But there comes a point where it's like, did I crash my calories too hard, too aggressively, perhaps? I don't know what the time frame of this cut was. This might give me more insight to give my, overall analysis of it. But yeah, like he obviously knows that long term going like 1,800 calorie crash diets is not going to be a practice he can sustain in order to maintain the body composition he wants. So there's gonna have to be some happy medium in the future.
Well, well, that's the thing with this. I use my fitness. 0 cheat meals. I would always recommend 0 cheat meals. Nothing. I haven't cheated on my diet a single time. I did do a refeed day every week where I would eat maintenance or a little over maintenance, but all in a controlled manner without cheating.
That's very impressive. Most people aren't going to be able to do that, especially at 1,800 calories. Like most people by now would have binged at least once. And especially after the diet, most have binged. So this guy is like iron willpower on this guy right here.
I would always recommend taking Marijn as your coach, but I would also recommend really learning yourself and gaining insight about how it all works, because that's where the power lies.
Get old Marijn. Okay, I'm gonna go into the comment section now and see kind of, there's some overlap with the fitness industry. So I'm gonna see if there's any saucy dudes in there. Gonna see if there's anybody calling him out. Gonna see what kind of reaction there is in general to the physique. And then I'm gonna go back and look at, especially the hair change is of interest to me as well. And it is presumably why a lot of people are tagging me too. A Natty or not, and a hair transformation simultaneously. It's like the ultimate duo. So for my channel. So, all right, let's see. So, holy shit, almost 100,000 likes on this. Let's go down here. Let's see, Zach Ainsley. Beyond proud of you, brother. You've done it. Proud of you, my man. Time to Gain by Tabby Castro. Man, the fucking blue checks on this comment section. It's like blue check city over here. Damn, bro. Epic conditioning. Well done. Rob Lipset. Doucette, outstanding. I agree. Very outstanding transformation. Headhunterz with 77 likes, and he laughed at it. So, transformation, blah, 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 blah. Marijn, yes, my man. You put in the work physically and mentally and break through barriers once again. So proud. Awesome transformation. Dare spinach gains. Adding it to my diet now. Dude, the fucking blue checks on this. Unreal. Okay, today I start with the spinach. I don't get the spinach reference, but clearly there's some sort of inside joke I am missing here. And is spinach the new word for gear? I don't know. I thought it was chicken, rice, and broccoli, to be honest. So there's a lot of just inspiration, you know, good jobs in here, like great job, this looks great, dedication, blah, blah, blah. Surprisingly, not a lot of anabolic call outs, which is what you'd expect to see, to be honest, which is a very positive comment section. Not a lot of people being like, not a lot of people shitting on him, which is actually interesting to see. Okay, so a pretty decent and reasonable comment section. Not a lot of call outs with anabolics or anything like that, at least from what I saw, at least from the comments I went through. So I'm going to get into some of the old images and kind of see how he's progressed over the years, and especially the hair too. So this is the transformation again, 3 years, April 2017 to current, I guess. Looking absolutely nutty. Now let's go all the way back to the beginning. Here's what he looked like in 2012. So obviously a skinny guy with, it's almost like he's pointing at his head here to point out the recession, which he's obviously not, but this is like the most drastic hair loss transformation plus saucy muscle growth phase simultaneously that we've seen. Well, actually not that we've ever seen, but it's a very fucking good one. So this is 2012, 8 years ago, guys. 8.5 years ago at this point, pretty much. And he has much less hair, and he seems like he's on his way to bald status and skinnier. Here he is in 2015 with his hair grown out. You can see significant recession of the temples here. And this is, you know, indicative of kind of the progression his hair loss journey is taking him. Less about his physique, more so about his hair loss. Going on to 2017, you can see the hair recession is severe at this point. It is something that presumably he has either not done anything about, or he just like didn't give a fuck about it at the time, or just didn't know what he could do. Because moving forward to 2019, all of a sudden his hair's grown out, and he's got like luscious locks again, dude. So it's like a 10-year transformation. This is a bit less recession because it's 10 years before the 2019 shot. But like when you go back to the 2017 one, it's like, dude, you're well on your way. And in current time, his hairline is just absolutely immaculate. So he mentioned how like the winky face with the tongue out thing about, you know, his hair loss and how it's, you know, so much better now and whatnot. And like you can see where the hairline is located now. And I would not be surprised if he's on finasteride and minoxidil, because that's the go-to newbie treatment for anyone who is starting anything. Most people that don't even know anything about hair loss are going to be recommended by whatever they read on the internet or their doctor or whatever to either try one or the other. And in unison, they make a very effective combination. I think he also got a hair transplant though, because this is a very significant recovery to the point that this guy is sporting what appears to be follicles in like a Norwood like 0.5 territory. Like this guy has very, very good hair all of a sudden, despite being way more jacked now and it being like almost a decade later. So if in 2017 you were at this point, there is no way with decent androgen levels in 2020 you are going to be up to here unless you had a very strong response to drugs and or you got a transplant. And I am assuming it's probably the transplant incorporated with some relatively minor drug intervention. Above and beyond that, as far as his physique itself, is this attainable naturally? I think it is. I think this guy probably bulked up to 184 or whatever it was and then cut down to the low 160s, and it's in the span of 3 years. I think it's possible naturally, certainly. The way he said he felt like shit though, does that mean if you're on gear you're not going to feel like shit and you're just guaranteed to feel good? No, it doesn't. So did he not do anything? To be honest, I'm going to say it's very suspect, the fact that he is friends with all these guys who just so happen to be saucy influencers who would otherwise be able to help facilitate the saucy progress. A guy who is traveling all the time, a guy who has suboptimal training conditions, suboptimal sleep hygiene, suboptimal things that have been imposed on him that would otherwise make it more difficult to achieve his goals. I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt and say it was natural, but I think he has certainly thought about the Sazul and is probably even considering it right now at this very fucking minute, seeing the guys like Marine hopping on the sauce train and all of his buddies like Tavi Castro and Zach Ainsley and all these guys who look like fucking houses, and he could otherwise potentially become a house himself based on his current foundation because he's at a very lean, insulin sensitive, mid 160s that would easily blow up to a very, very good looking like 180 to 190s if he got on the sauce train, in my opinion. So I think the temptation is definitely there for him big time right now. And I wouldn't be surprised if some of his buddies who are lifetime, dedicated naturals like Marine getting on the...
I am following a medical procedure. It's called TRT, under supervision of a doctor.
I wouldn't be surprised if his, not peer pressure, but just like seeing even like the lifetime naturals that were dead set, die-hard natties who would never touch shit in their lives are even going to the unnatural side and getting very good results with it. I wouldn't be surprised if he is highly considering doing it himself. And, it'd be pretty obvious if he did at this point, because I think we've seen over the span of 3 years what he is capable of doing. And I think that any kind of drastic jump at this point would be indicative of exogenous hormone assistance at this point. So this is a very good transformation. Some people might say, just based on how shredded he is and how absolutely nuts he looks, that, oh, this must be unnatural. I would concede that the dryness, the graininess, kind of looks similar to a guy who's unnatural. However, you have to consider he's 5'10" in the low 160s. He's been training for 3 years. The guy is literally willing to go without eating a cheat meal for his entire cut and get down to 1,800 calories. We've seen even what Marine looks like when he cut probably naturally several times in the past, and what happened to his physique and kind of what was achievable naturally. We've seen it in numerous guys at this point, the difference between natural cutting, the difference between enhanced cutting. You can look like this in the low 160s natural, in my opinion. And I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt. Maybe I'm fucking wrong, but I mean, like, hopefully not. Hopefully this isn't enhanced, because he would have a decent amount of leeway at this point in order to get a very impressive physique if he was going to go the enhanced route. And this was just indicative of his genetic natural cap, kind of, so to speak. So we'll see what happens in the future. Obviously, this guy has tons of potential if this is what he looks like naturally. So anyways, this guy has dope music if you're into that genre that he is in, and as well as he seems like a cool dude. Like, his response to the comments, even people who are saying like trend and shit, or he's just like laughing at it. And maybe he did take some shit. I just think that the body weight, the transformation, with the limited amount of information provided based on the height, the body composition, the transformation, I think it's natural, but you never know. So let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Natural or not, this guy's in the mid low 160s. He had visible abs in the low mid 180s, out 5'10". Where he started, he wasn't obviously not a genetically gifted individual who holds a lot of mass. So it's a bit, you're looking at realistically when he started in the, like the low 140s basically at the start. Clearly not like a genetically blessed individual for holding tons of muscle mass, but like 40 pounds of like comprised of relatively lean weight in a span of 3 years. A lot of it was not pure muscle. A lot of it was just fluff weight. And then cutting down and showing the truly revealed, actual contractile tissue at the low 160s. He's up like 20 like diced pounds. Natural, maybe conceivably, yes, I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. So let me know what you think. Comments down below. They all help the algorithm. Follow me on Instagram at @moreplates_more_dates, Facebook, Snapchat, BitChute, Twitter. Again, this guy is friends with a lot of saucy motherfuckers though, so it's a bit suspect, but you never know. We will see in the future, I think, in the coming 1 to 2 years, if any drastic changes occur at this point, given his social circle, given what he looks like now, given his weight, I think it will become pretty obvious if he is or is not. So we will see. So thank you guys for watching. Talk to you soon.